Okay, here we are with the first interview. We're with, what's your name?
Kathleen Erickson.
Kathleen Erickson, and you are going to be taking over at the former Ned's, which became Duckworth's Beach Gourmet, and now it's going to be Savour Wine
And cheese.
and cheese. And when is the transformation going to take place?
Well, we're all working together. Matt and John and my partner Bob Morgan and I through the transition. Hoping that we'll only be closed maybe about a week or 10 days, starting from about the middle of May. Our opening date is May 27th, which is the beginning of Memorial Day weekend. And Matt will actually still be working out of the kitchen here. So that was part of our deal, so that he could continue his catering business and also make prepared foods, but not to sell in the store, but to order. So people can still call him up. We'll still do events, and I'm sure we'll do some kind of cross-marketing, cross-events, where I'll do the wine, say for a wedding or a party or that. So we're just working together and going to make it happen. A little bit more wine here, a lot more wine I should say, probably going up to about 500 SKUs as opposed to 50 or 80.
Wow. That's
so not
cool.
right away, probably 1 to 300 to start, but up to 500.
Now that's really your background, the whole wine thing, right?
Well, I have a PhD in history actually from the University of Chicago. I have 2 careers, so I did academic work for a long time. I published a book on Van Gogh and called At Eternity's Gate. But I always worked in the industry, restaurants and that type of thing. And when I worked for Rick Bayless in Chicago, the Mexican chef, celebrity chef, he won Top Chef Masters. So some people know who he is. But anyway, I was tequila and wine taster, got interested in that, and went to study with the Court of Master Sommeliers with Richard Betts, who's now a negociant, and we just today brought in one of his wines from Betts and Scholl, Grenache from Australia, which is great. And just started getting interested from that point. So I went into distribution. I worked for Maverick Wines in Chicago, and then I worked retail after that in Chicago, and then I was a year at Seabreeze here in Gloucester, wine manager.
What brought you to Gloucester?
Kind of an interesting story. I was in Chicago for over 30 years, and I grew up in Linfield. I went to college in Chicago and graduate school in Chicago. And once my children were grown, I decided to go out to Arizona, where my daughter Brooke was, and moved in with her. And I got whatever job came along, and I was recruited actually to recruit in the biopharmaceutical industry, which I'd never done before. I'm not sure why that was. But anyway, so I took the job, getting started in a new place, and I met Bob Morgan on the phone. He was Senior Vice President of Biopharm Oncology in Boston, so I called him for some references, and we got to talking about wine and fell in love, and he came out to Scottsdale and asked me to come back here, so.
Oh my goodness.
That's how I got back here.
Holy mackerel.
And I really didn't apply for any jobs. I thought, well, I want to stay in retail, and I just gave my resume at Seabreeze, and a few months later they called me.
Wow, fantastic.
It's kind of a quirky story.
Did you, like a year ago, would you have said, my dream is to open up a wine and cheese shop?
Yeah, I thought about it. Once I had worked distribution, and I was selling to retail shops and selling to restaurants, then I really got interested in doing it myself. And I got pretty good at it. I like it. And I really like retail because people come to you and they want to buy something. They just want you to guide them.
Yeah.
So you're all set.
Yeah.
You just have to guide them in the right direction. Much easier than knocking on doors when people are resistant. It's really kind of a fun sales job.
Yeah.
You're really just helping people get something they like.
So will you consider that you'll have wines of all different price ranges?
Probably about $10, around that. Yes, up to hundreds of dollars, but mainly there's a sort of a sweet spot in terms of quality for the price, and that's about $14 to maybe $24.
And you can guide people towards those types of, you say, you could buy this $10 bottle, it'll be okay and stuff, but if you spend a little bit more, I can get you into
Exactly.
something really, really nice.
There's a point at which you have diminishing returns. Once you get over $25, the incremental increase in quality isn't what it is from 10 to 12, let's say. It's still good.
Yeah.
When you get under 12, it starts to drop off pretty dramatically. So the difference in quality between a $10 and $12 wine is pretty significant.
Wow.
You know,
So what things will you be doing? What things will definitely be different from what this store was before, and what things will be the same?
well, what will be different is a lot more wine.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And I will continue teaching my classes. So
Let's talk about the
education
classes.
is a big. Yeah, I teach a 5-part wine series called Become a Wine Expert, which is sad to say, but if you even take one of them, you'll probably know more than most of the people who are waiting on you at restaurants. And most of the people in the industry don't know that much about wine. And then I teach a number of one-night seminars, sparkling wine, so champagne and sparkling wine. I'll do a summer entertaining class, things like that. And then I've hired a woman, Krista Julian from Manchester. I was a graduate of the Culinary Institute and did an internship at Formaggio in Boston. And so she's an expert in cheese. So then she'll be teaching some classes on that.
So there's enough demand for these types of classes to have 2 teachers?
We're always waitlisted. Yeah, my classes are always waitlisted.
Really? So how can people find out? Is there a website or anything?
I have a website, thewinephd.com. So, and we also have savorwineandcheese.com. But at this time, I have all the information up on thewinephd.com. We'll have on both. I have all the
thewinephd.com?
Yeah, all my education information. But as we're making the transition, we'll put everything up on Savour Wine and Cheese as well. So we're just in that process. But yes, education's a big change. The amount of wine, I taste everything, and I bring in everything that to me passes that test. And I'm very conscious of quality price ratio, which is to say, where do you get the best bang for the buck? Not necessarily the cheapest wine, but where are you getting the best value? And as I say, that's usually $14 to $25, $14.24.
It's good to know. I mean, I know nothing, and you know it's very different. Do you have any tips for someone that has a terrible memory? Because like I may taste a wine someplace, and I'm like, and then I'm like, oh God, what was that? I remember it was great, and everything else. Well,
here's a tip for you. Get a good wine manager. Because this is part of my job. I'm a detective. So someone will come to me and say, do you have that wine? They call it Naked Lady. And I go, okay, you mean the other? Oh yeah, the one with that silhouette on the front. Yeah, that's the one I mean. Or I want that one that has a frog on the front. So, okay, well, we have Toad Hollow. We have... let me see what else. So go looking around. Oh, it's that one. Doesn't that koala bear look like a frog to you? You have to have a wine manager with a good memory, and I do. I mean, I don't think I've ever missed. I don't think even 6 months later that somebody...
Wow.
So usually if you can tell me anything, if you can remember the price, if you can remember the color, remember the country, anything, I can usually find it. And sometimes people remember absolutely nothing, and what they do remember is completely wrong. We still come up with it. So.
That's impressive. Let me tell you, that is.
So you have to have a good wine manager who knows you and sort of remembers what you like, and I'm pretty good at that.
Well, there you go. So one more time for the people. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, you asked me what are we keeping.
Oh, yeah.
So we're to keep the cheeses, of course, because Krista's going to probably do more with that because that's Krista's area of expertise. We'll keep the sausages. Everybody's interested in that.
Oh, the Truffiano sausages going to be
here? And the pasta. So both of those, gentlemen, Mike and Mike, will still be here. Matt and John will be continuing their catering service, and as part of our agreement that they can use the kitchen here and continue their business. So the only thing that really we're not keeping are the sandwiches because of the time factor and all of that. And they want to get busier with their catering service, and we want to sell a lot of wine. Now, one thing we're bringing in that's very unique: wine tasting machines from Napa Technology in California. Wine tasting machines preserve the bottle for 60 days. So what will happen is they'll be right along here, come in, get a little card, it looks like a credit card, put it in the slot, and it will dispense an ounce of wine for free. There'll be a digital readout. We'll give you the price. It might give you some food and wine pairing suggestions, where the wine is from, that type of thing. So you can come in and explore on your own. So you have to get the card for me, the glass for me, and then you decide, well, I like that, so I'll buy the bottle. So it's a try before you buy.
Wow.
And that's going to be great for people because really people do want to try new things. They don't want to spend $20 on a bottle they hate.
Yeah.
That's very frustrating. And sometimes you go through many. Say, I don't like this one, I don't like that one, I don't like this one. And a lot of people will tell me, well, I just don't like wine, but they just haven't had a chance to explore. And especially certain varietals like Pinot Grigio and Chardonnay, which there's a lot of Pinot Grigio on the market that tastes sort of like water. There's a lot of oaky California Chardonnay. So you get a lot, especially men. Oh, I don't drink white wine. But that's why, because they really haven't tasted any really good stuff. So that's one of my passions to say, oh, wait a minute, you haven't tried this one. But they'll be able to try.
Fantastic.
So that's the best feature of the store. Besides having someone to help you with your choices, you can try for yourself. So
there you go.
So,
all right, so one last time, information if people want to find out your store hours and everything else, the webpage to go to is?
SavourWineandCheese.com.
And it's SAVOUR wineandcheese.com.
Right. And we are going to be open, I'm sure, 11 to 7. We may expand those hours. We will be open on Sundays, 12 to 6. We might be open a little bit later Friday evening, so you can find that out at the website. And I think we'll be open Mondays during the summer at least. So we'll be expanding the hours, and we'll be selling a lot of wine.
Fantastic. It's so nice to meet you, and
Yeah.
best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.